Greetings! In this episode, my guest, Łukasz Lasek, advocate, solicitor in England and Wales, not practicing, partner at Wardyński & Partners, will explain legal aspects of fighting cybercrime done in the form of ransomware and data hacks. This is news from Poland, business and law, a synthesis for foreigners acting as board members in Polish companies, foreign investors in Poland and their foreign advisors.
Hi, in this episode, remaining on the topic of cybercrime, we want to share with you our experience with a particular type of cybercrime called ransomware, which is becoming increasingly common. What type of cyber threat it is, how businesses can protect against it, and how we help businesses after they fall victim to ransomware extortion. While business email compromise frauds might be on decline, businesses are increasingly impacted by ransomware and data hacks. Just in the past few months, the press have reported on a number of large-scale ransomware attacks, targeting both private and public entities. The impact of the attacks is always huge. Disrupted operations, leaks of trade secrets and personal data, losses to reputation. And the reported cases are only the tip of the iceberg. Most cyber incidents go unreported. In our practice, we see an increase in businesses falling victim to this type of cybercrime. The cyber gangs behind these attacks are no longer merely focusing on blocking access to IT networks. Before executing malware, blocking access to IT systems, criminals infiltrate the IT systems to conduct due diligence on the financial standing of the victim and extract valuable data. This gives the criminals additional leverage when they demand ransom. The ransom is supposed to be paid not only for unlocking the IT systems, but also for not disclosing confidential data. The decision whether to negotiate with the criminals and pay the ransom is always difficult. On the individual level, payment of the ransom might be the quickest solution to restart operations and avoid legal liability and embarrassment. But on a larger scale, this only fuels the cyber criminals. Ransomware attacks are proliferating at great speed. Ransomware is offered by skilled hackers as a service to those without technical skills in exchange for a share in the ransom payment. Cyber gangs are also targeting IT supply chains with the view to increase the impact of their attacks. Thanks to this tactic, a single attack can impact thousands of businesses. This is what happened in the recent attack on Kaseya, an American company that makes software for managing IT systems and infrastructure. What can businesses do to become more resistant to this type of cyber threat? Every business must be aware that it can be affected by the ransomware attack and needs to adopt prevention and response plans. In terms of IT supply chains, businesses should make sure they cooperate with credible partners that take adequate cybersecurity measures. They should also ensure that contractual risk is properly regulated and hedged. In this context, businesses should be aware that the internet ecosystem is highly centralized these days, and reliance on just one supplier might result in greater damage. So businesses should consider contracting alternative backup suppliers. Every business should also examine its own IT networks. Are they properly secure against unauthorized access and activity? A study by Microsoft found that more than 99% of all cyber attacks could have been prevented if multi-factor authentication were deployed. A ransomware incident will usually trigger a lot of different considerations. You need to ensure that hackers no longer have access to the IT network, that operations can be quickly restored, that digital tracks are preserved, and that legal reporting obligations are discharged. In a case of data leak, you may need to adopt a strategy for taking down the hacked data from the web. Hackers usually deploy sophisticated techniques to sell and disseminate hacked data. You may need to take different legal measures in different jurisdictions against companies which are hosting the hacked data or otherwise facilitate access to it. The law provides a range of different causes of action for addressing the impact of data hacks, such as takedown orders, delisting, or web blocking injunctions. The practical reality is, however, it is very difficult to take down mushrooming content and requires a lot of coordinated efforts.
Thanks for watching this episode of the program. See you in the next episode of the series.